We get to choose and recreate ourselves every day if you want to. Hey guys, welcome back to season 3 of Is It Tuesday podcast. And I'm Cris Cavallari. So, this is so. I have to take breaks and I used to be a fast speaker. I mumble a little bit. I feel like I used to do that with writing. When I couldn't spell a word, I used to feel like if I hurried up and scribbled it, it would look like the word, right? Like they couldn't tell if it was a or a O or a J or, G, whatever. But I'm learning how to slow down, or I'm being forced to slow down. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity to pace myself, to really gather my thoughts before they just blurt out, right? Because a lot of times our delivery is wrong. The message could be completely right, but the delivery, um, you want to make it digestible on all levels, right? And I remember saying and posting a meme like most of us do. We see something on these random Instagram accounts and we're like, "Oh, this is my mood," and we put it up. And I remember seeing something and then even saying it. And the part of it is still true. Like like it doesn't have to be digestible, like you can choke, right? That was us cursing people, by the way. Like I don't want anybody to choke, but I don't want to water myself down. I don't want to water down my experiences. Um, how can I serve my purpose by giving you a half-ass, thing? I will say that in this time, I've learned how to make it digestible on all levels. There's no point of talking if people can't understand, and there's no point of wasting your breath to the masses that aren't willing to listen from a different point of view, right? So as this time has, went on and we took a break and we are living life in the most, trying to think of a way to describe it. It's like you're in your house, right? Like right now, I feel like there's, and I'll get to that part, but in the meditating part of it, in the calmness of it, I feel like I'm submerged in water, but I'm protected. Like, so all around me, I'm safe. And what's going on outside of me doesn't concern me. Everybody lives in their own universe and they have their own things going on. And that in itself has allowed me to give grace, not only to others, but to myself. So, welcome back. I am excited to share with you how I'm maneuvering through this new chapter, this new life. We've lived many lives, so this is like different. This is different because when I think about when I started this podcast in 2020, what I was going through, what I'm still currently going through, um, a lot of things don't change. We do not have the power to change others. We have the power to say, I want to deal with that, or this doesn't fit where my life is going. This doesn't align with my purpose. These are attachments and not alignment. There's a way of of learning that, and as we go on, I'll hopefully be able to assist you on this transition that you're probably on. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably going through some shit too, right? And I've heard recently like, "Oh, this is like therapy." And I'm like, I'm laughing because I've always been this way. I've always been the friend that gives the advice. I've always been the strong one with the shoulder to cry on. Unfortunately, I haven't had that opportunity to have that in my life. I'm that for them and me. So instead of being aggravated with not having, I've learned that if that is a part of my purpose, who heals the healer? Who is the shoulder to cry on? Who checks up on the strong friends? Everybody assumes you got it, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's just as much as a struggle, but I think that it's an internal struggle that a lot of us are going through, that until we look at the bigger picture, until we understand that these are all choices. You choose to wake up and be happy if you were given the opportunity to wake up, right? Someone today didn't wake up. Their opportunities are gone. Did they live their life to the fullest? Did they go to bed with regret? Did they go to bed angry? Did they go to bed holding on to things that were sent to teach them a lesson? In these last few months, my perspective changed on a lot of things. I'm not even as active as I used to be. And I think like last season, I talked about that a little bit, like not even going ghost because I'm out here. We outside, maybe not the same outside you talking about, but we outside. We taking on all the signs that God is sending our way. We are listening more. The fact that right now I feel so peaceful kind of scares me because it's not, everything around me is not peaceful. There's some there's some chaos going on outside. But because my house has been torn down, I have the opportunity to build it on a solid foundation, the foundation that I'm laying. And it's really scary when you realize that you control a lot of shit in your own life. You're like, wait, if I change my thinking like this, I attract these things. If I stop over analyzing why somebody did what they did and instead think about the lesson I was supposed to learn, and I'll be the first one to tell you lessons only repeat themselves when you haven't learned. I'm tired of relearning things. I'm tired of this this happened and this happened. It's the same thing. First of all, you're speaking it into existence. Although I'm in this space of like, I always say a lake, right? A lake doesn't, anything that happens in a lake, it doesn't change like the calmness of the lake, right? The ocean is unpredictable. One second it's like calm, then it's like a high tides, and then it might be a little fucking. Oh, I don't think I really don't think I should be cussing. I'm working on that. I'm a cuss sometimes, but I'm really working on other words. I think that, but sometimes adding a little cuss word on something, it just gives it a little. That's what we think, right? But then I'm like, I could have used a different word. Do I know another word to describe those feelings? And that's when I start saying, that's when I'll jot it down and be like, look for other words too. So this is why I know right now it's crazy because I think I said I was going to stop cussing like 10 years ago. And although I don't curse like a sailor, I still curse. And sometimes curse yourself. Sometimes speaking those things, we don't think anything of it. We just think we just expressing ourselves, but you don't understand the power of the tongue. You don't understand how you can truly shift everything in your life just by shifting small things every day. So every day is like a choice to be happy, a choice to not let other people's um, ideas of you or lack of commitment to the things that you thought they should be, we signed up for. But once you change and shift that thinking, a lot of things started making sense. And on this break, on this holiday, that's what I'm gonna start calling my breaks, holiday. Like where you go on your vacation and you come back and you're rejuvenated, you cleanse your mind, you decluttered everything, you're just ready for that next chapter. I think that each time I go on a holiday, I get better and better. Because I can really hear now. Y'all gonna get tired of me saying that. And that's okay. Because every day someone new comes, they need to understand that my life was not this calm. And now I'm finally realizing that's because I didn't decide to move my feet. I stayed in situations and friendships and businesses and these attachments knowing that they weren't aligned with my purpose. They may have been steps. Everything is written. We can go this way or that way. The choice is ours. We have free will, right? So every time that I think about what I want my life to feel like, opposed to what it looks like, this feeling of this feels good without me needing to show you right away, like in that present moment, I thought I needed to share everything. I thought that I had to tell everybody everything. Everybody needs to know the plan because we need that validation, right? Let me tell you my idea so you can tell me that that's a good idea instead of just trusting myself. Trusting my own instinct, my own gut, understanding that if God put it in me, then that's what it is. Like, I don't need a committee. You don't need a whole bunch of things nor people to say yes to you. You need to say yes to you. I've been saying yes so much, y'all. I've been saying no to the outside world. I've been saying yes to me and to what I need. And I realized that I should have did this shit a long time ago. I feel like that. I feel like, why did it take me so long? And then I realized I wasn't learning a lesson. God tried to tell me so many times, and I thought I knew it all. We know nothing. We know nothing. We know what everybody else told us, and that's what we're going off of. We have to start digging deeper into what we like, into what works for us, because what works for someone else may not work for you. And what looks easy and comes so natural to others, they may have been perfecting that for years. You know what I mean? Like, I've stopped comparing my journey to others. I don't know what God has written for them. I don't know what lessons they're supposed to learn or they're relearning. All I know is when I pass the test, I just want to pass it for me. I can literally now win in silence. I don't have to post, oh, this whole thing for the applause. Because I'll be the first one to tell you, because I've been on both sides of the gate, the applause can turn into boos. People can change in a second. That's why it's important to know who you are inside, to be very sure of the direction that you see yourself going in, um, to only tell people what's going on when it's coming out. You don't have to overly strategize your life. We are mixing too many things with our core self. What you do is not who you are. How much money you have is not who you are. That doesn't dictate if you're a good person, this, that, and the third. Actually, it will show more of, the core you. The more and more I sit in this new chapter, I'm really like, how many years of suffering did I put on myself by not accepting, not acknowledging, being too hard, or making it seem like, oh, I don't care, because I do care. Once you start feeling, then you could be like, oh, that's what that this feels. That's why now I can say like this piece kind of feels uncomfortable. It feels a little lonely, like especially when a lot of us are used to your phones ringing off the hook and being invited to certain places and certain things, and you want to feel included. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel included. The problem is wanting approval to be pulled into these directions when it's like, hey, set that solid ground at where you are. You get to do the approving. You get to say, you can come over here. Okay, you know what? Time for everybody to go. Let's wrap this up. Like, let's start understanding that everybody individually has the right to choose to be around you, to work with you, to stay connected to you. And if they decide not to, there's no malice. It's just maybe that chapter end. Maybe that chapter ended like not maybe sometimes abruptly. Sometimes abruptly. I'm currently recording in Icon HQ, and I am wearing Icon from head to toe. Like my socks, my pants, my shirt. I'm recording on my equipment. I'm in my space. I'm wearing my clothes. The shit don't be seeming real, y'all. If you look around, I'm in an office. It feels so nostalgic. It feels like I am in my collision center job, and the difference is I'm not cussing people out because I'm annoyed. I'm really literally like, oh my gosh, how do I tell people how to get here? I want you to come here. I want you to come to this place where it may not be perfect. Of course, it's not perfect. What is perfect? I don't think any of us have experienced perfect. Something's always going to happen, but it's you. You get better each time. Like, and now I'm in this space and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, y'all, I used to be late to this job, had a lot of freedom. I used to be late to this job. I used to post up my phone and talk to my Instagram followers and my friends and make content. And I'm literally like, oh shit, your mindset shifted. Things change when you decide to change. When you decide that, hey, I'm not a victim, but these things did happen to me. I'm going to use this to fuel me. I'm going to use all of this to fuel me. All of this is just like a slingshot. Motherfuckers, see, I'm trying. I don't even, can I even cuss on YouTube? I'm going to start looking that type of stuff up because I'm in a place of, I'm just doing it because I want to do it and I haven't studied it yet. Because sometimes studying things will make you go a certain way that like if you watch something repeatedly, you'll like not intentionally, but your body will go that way to tell you that driver's ed. You're driving a car, and whatever you look at is where the direction you going. Right? If you look into the left, you're gonna drive to the left. Wherever you're focused on is that's where you're gonna go. So lately, I don't I don't dive into everybody else's shit because I don't want to go in that direction. I have my own direction. And maybe following other people's paths had led us to heartbreak and disappointment because that was never our path. Disappointment, not in them. And that's where the shift comes in because you can't always shift the blame like, oh, because you told me. No, but you had free will to stop and redirect yourself and pull out your compass and pull out your map and figure out where you're supposed to be at. People gonna be angry as hell when you ask them to stop the car so you can get out. In these last 3 years, I've learned how to control my tongue because the last time I was in the office setting like this, whatever I felt, I said. I didn't think. I just, whatever. And now I know that I'm inserting myself in other people's shit that has nothing to do with me. I don't even give, like, I don't do that unsolicited advice anymore. I used to, like, oh, girl, well, you should. Now I'm just like, whatever makes you happy. Because you have to live with the consequences. You have to, you know, understand that you're asking the opinions of others when the real thing is you're supposed to be doing your own research. It's almost like when we used to go math class, I cheated all the time. I was horrible in school. I was horrible in school. I don't even know if it was like just because I didn't learn the same as others, but I know for a fact, like, I would trust somebody that's sitting next to me and cheat off their paper. I don't know if this girl studied. I'm literally basing my grade or, whatever on what someone else. I don't know what she did before she got here. I don't know if she stressed out or I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm realizing gambling with myself and I don't even gamble, baby. I don't like to I don't like to. But if I am going to gamble, it's going to be on me. That way I could say, "Hey, I tried," or this worked out, or I could at least go back to the drawing board and see what I didn't catch on to or what needs improving. The more you get silent, the more you can hear more of what you need. I am very excited about helping others maneuver through this thing. Because I really be like, oh shit. I'm really, every day, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? What happened? What was like that moment, that aha moment? And each time I'm like starting to realize because it's silent around me, I can remember more. I can forgive more. I'm not forgetting shit, but I can forgive you because I don't know what you went through and I don't know why, you know, you decided to do certain things, but I can know how I'm handling it. The memory could stay. I don't have to relive it though. I can remember why I'm deciding to do better. What is the why? Not because I want to stunt on an ex, not because I want to show my ex friend that I can do it without them. This is something like this is a personal thing. And once we start realizing your life is more personal, it's like literally, old black people used to be like, because when you die, it's going to be you and God. It really is. Nobody's up there saying, hey, but let me tell you what she did. God sees everything. And the crazy part is, I never, when I first started using my social media in 2000, like whenever, 12, maybe 11, I always said I never wanted to talk about like religion or politics. First of all, I'm still not talking about politics because we already know where that is. Like that's not for that. We have no say. I don't care what anybody says, right? But the more I say I'm not going to talk about the spiritual part of it, I feel like I have no choice because that's where all the credit is coming from. Like you have to understand all of this is bigger than us. We're really just here passing through. Like this is not the final place, and it's crazy because I'm like I am not a churchy person. First of all, I cuss too much. I thought I could be like a cussing pastor or something, but even when I decide to start coaching, I'm probably gonna curse at my clients or curse while I'm talking, but I'm trying not to because there's more words. There's so many more words that we don't know besides the F bomb. We get to choose though. We get to choose and recreate ourselves every day if you want to. And this chapter, I am so excited. Like I said, I'm so excited to tap in with you to share how I've drifted here. because I had no intentions. This was not like I did not think about this. It just I drifted. Y'all flowing. I'm not flowing. I like because I'm if I see a branch and something's getting heavy, I'll grab onto it and get out the way. But I don't know how I drifted away and then I drifted back and then it's like this place is beautiful. You ever stumbled upon somewhere and you were not supposed to be there and you found this hidden gem and you don't want to tell anybody about it because you don't want too many people to come and then they're going to tell their friends and I don't want to keep those things to myself anymore. I want to share. So I'm making a decision, the conscious decision, being intentional with sharing, not trauma bonding. I think we was trauma bonding years ago about who did what and how they're such a sucky person. I want to share how to maneuver with those sucky things because sucky people are still here. Sucky people are still here. Some people are not willing to grow or unlearn, and that's okay because we have no judgment over these people's lives. But if you want to heal with me, then we're going to heal together. See you next time.